Hi guys, this is Namcraft. What's going on? Welcome to This is a Starcraft English commentary. We've had not some games in the last 1 or 2 days. We've had some KCM games. Before that, we had some ASL games. So we're gonna slightly take an ASL break here this weekend, and we're gonna be witnessing some other games. By the way, ASL games will resume Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So if you're into those kind of groups with Stork, Bisu, and Jadong and Queen playing, if you're interested in those players, please go ahead and watch out for my latest videos, and let's see, may the best player win. But anyhow, I'm gonna be witnessing some nice game with you today, and I'm gonna be releasing some series of videos. They're all guaranteed to be epic. And they're all happening recently, so if you're into great games, you don't want to waste time just scrolling through bad games, just stick with Namcraft and you're gonna get all of the fixes. As usual, these guaranteed to be epic games will be released for those who supported me in the last 2 days, namely Eric, Sea Goblin, Mr. Z, and those guys. Although some of you, I don't have your Gmail address, so if you've never received one of those early guaranteed to be released games from me, you need to tell me your Gmail address now. So just email me at namcraft namkraftvn@gmail.com. You can find that email somewhere on the internet, I think. So that's that. Anyways, this first great game is going to be played between two players whom we've not seen for a while, Snow and Soulkey. They are both in the round of 4 of the last ASL, so they are not wasting their times with the prelims and round of 24. They will be appearing in the round of 16. This is why we don't see them much. We don't even see them that much in KCM, especially Snow. We have not seen him at all. He's been one of a monster in Starcraft, but he's not revealing his shapes and forms yet. He's hiding in the shadows, lurking like a lurker, although even though he's not a Zerg player. So that's really interesting, because let me just quickly show you the ELO scores for today. Here, the top 10 players in broodwar. You can see Snow has consistently been number 1 for weeks now, several weeks. And let's see how it's going to be performing. By the way, we're going to be having some nice flash games as well in the series, so if you bought me coffee, you will just watch those videos a little bit early. If you have not, you just watch them a little bit later, so that's fine. Anyways, looks like these players are going to be coming out with some nice attacks here. Let's see who is going to be able to triumph. Looks like some Zerglies coming out from Soulkey, and he's going to be heading towards the bottom left where Snow is located. He's going to try to stop the enemy from expanding and taking third base. He is Zerg going for the third base before even having any kind of tech is an interesting choice. We've seen some games, especially in KCM, and to a certain extent also to okay, looks like that probe was sniped. I was going to say, in a certain extent, we've seen in KCM and the previous ASL that Protoss has got a difficulty fighting against this kind of 3-hatch, and then going to, Hydralisk, and then to eventually take it to something else, even going to a 4th base. So let's see how these players can be performing. But for now, 2 cannons will keep Snow safe. And by the way, as usual, I'm going to show you, this is going to be the player card. A new kind of invention that I have come up with, and I hope you guys will enjoy this technology from Namcraft. Technology is almost a overstatement. It's nothing much at all, but I still like it. This is what I know called as the player card. I will be showing this in various games, so it's the basic information of the players playing. So Snow is Korean name. I think many of you don't even know the Korean names of the players. It's Jang Yoon Chul. By the way, in Korean, the first word I always use is going to be the last name, so the rest is going to be the first name. So Yoon Chul is what they call each other, friendly, in a friendly manner in their banter. So and Snow is 31 years of age. He's a little bit in the middle, right? If you know that the old players are now 34, 35, the young ones like Baby, ironically enough for his name, is around 30. What else do we know about this current king of Starcraft? His old Casper team used to be CJ Entis, and his university affiliation right now is K-Day. I don't know much about those universities, so if you know something, please leave a comment, because I don't really know exactly who is where. Well, I know what I'm showing to you on the scorecard, but I don't know anything about how many players in each team. There it is. So 3-hatch Hydras is going to be the name of the game here. So let's see how much damage can that get done in the probe scout situation. Of course, sometimes these days the Zerg player just allow that to happen, because their goal is not to kill the Protoss player outright, but to gain an economic advantage by forcing some cannons and slowing down the scouting of the enemy. So that's what we're going to be having here. Looks like there is going to be, some tech getting created. We have a Stargate. Okay, we do have a Stargate. We have a, is it a double Stargate? A single Stargate? I think it's just a single Stargate. It would be very, very funny if it's double Stargate. But anyways, what is Soulkey up to? So let me just quickly show you his player card. There it is, Mr. Soulkey. Kim Min-chul, Min-chul is what they call him, right? He's got another alias, which is Byuk. I think you know him by his other name, Need Money. He is 33 years of age, and he's got a decent amount of subscribers on Africa and YouTube, but a very, very low number considering that he's a three-peater. He's the current champion 3 times all over, so it's very, very rare for him to not have over 100,000 followers in any kind of social network. But anyways, he's been in 16 round of 24. You know that he's won it 3 times, and the last time was just the last season. So very, very strong player coming up here. And let's see how these 2 players are going to be preparing themselves for the upcoming ASL. Looks like a lot of Zerglings and Hydras coming from all sides. The spawning position is not really favoring Snow here. He would not be able to save his forge. His forge would fall. He would die very, very quickly. But he's already got a replacement forge, so things are looking good in that regards. But let's see how much damage Soulkey would do. And will Soulkey decide to go for something else? This, of course, as you can see, is scouting and checking for the Hydra's production. He want to see how much cannons he need to make. And he's going around and checking. So that is going to be very, very good here. Yeah, do I want to show you something else? Maybe the win rates and things like that, because I guess this one would not be happening very soon. As you can see, in the last 30 days, Snow has got a 60% win rate, 66% win rate against Zerg, and Soulkey was 48 against Protoss. So Soulkey is kind of slumping because if you look on the ELO score, he is not in the top 3. He's number 5, right? So he's a little bit, as you can see, he's right here, 1360. So he's got a lot of work to do. But although, knowing Soulkey, I think he's not worrying at all. He's not one of those players who worry about these kind of, banal earthly pleasures like ELO ranking. Psst, who cares about ELO rankings? I'm the freaking monster. I'm the I don't know, the emperor of the underworld, as they would say to him. I would call him like that. Anyways, for the timing, looks like Zerlings are fanning out. They're checking for any kind of ridiculous stuff. For example, we might have a shuttle. Why not, right? Yeah, just for the heck of it. But for the timing, looks like Snow is sticking to the bare basics. He's just gonna be going for Xenot. They will have lag. He wants to come out and snipe that Overlord when his Zealots has got lag. So that's gonna be good. But it looks like Soulkey is actually not taking a 4th base. Usually in these scenarios, we'll see the Zerg player trying to take a 4th base, but he's not doing that right now. Looks like the Zealots are getting ready to dive out, and the Overlord, of course, will fall. Some nice attack. Let's see how much damage these Zealots can do. They're trying to surround the Hydras. Good attack, and looks like Snow gets 1 Hydras, but now the rest will pull back. And do we have a switch into Lurker coming from Snow? That's going to be the question. But for now, he sniped a single Overlord. He started to move across the map. He would try to decide where to attack it. This base, it's got 3 hatcheries, but it doesn't have any sunkens. But I think the number of hydras is just good enough. But fighting like this, he will exhaust the Zergling line first, and he will back up now. He's going to try to go a little bit further because he's going to lose one of his Corsair. Very, very unfortunate because he thought maybe Soulkey is thinking of switching into Mutas. This is the reason why he's investing so much into trying to snipe that Overlord. Anyway, some Xenot's gonna get blocked here. And indeed, looks like at the last minute, the number of Hydras is very low. That Overlord, I think, will fall. He will attack furiously against the Hydralisk. The Corsair can run away now. Reinforcement coming from the southern side, so these Zealots will be exhausted. But I think that was decent damage done. Now he wants to keep that Corsair as much as possible. Another drone will fall, I think. Good drone, Skype. Okay, we do have the Spire. There's a Spire. We need to have some cannons up right now. And it looks like Snow is going to make some cannons. He's got a Darkler. He might as well want to slip that out and try to create confusion. Maybe snipe some Zerglings or something like that. So that's something to keep in mind. But for the time being, cannons going up all around, a lot of gateways. He's not making Dark Archon. He's not making any more Corsairs. I don't think he's making Dragoons either. So he's going to be going for the very, very basic of Protoss defense, which are cannons. We have some red stuff at the bottom right. I don't know if that is an Overlord or a Zergling or something like that. In these kind of scenarios, I, as a Protoss player, would always want to just go out there and snipe these scouting units. Anyways, I think it looks like Overlord speed is done. Robotics coming out. Interesting. And it looks like I think that possibly is a Corsair, and there may be a pair of Scourge chasing it. Maybe that is possibly 4 Scourges. I don't know. Okay, we do have some Mutualists coming out, and these Zealots are gonna review the positioning and the number of these mutualists. There's a total of 4 right now. Zelot's gonna try to go into the main. There's a lot of mutualists. Zelot would try to snipe some drones. No, he's gonna go all the way inside the main. He would not get anything done, but he got vital information and time to set up even more cannons in his main, and we should expect to see Dragoons soon. Okay, we do have just more Corsairs getting made, but I don't think it's nearly enough. Hydra's gonna start to come out in large numbers, so that was a temporary switch, not a permanent switch, but now there's going to be a permanent switch. Now these Dark Templar will need to snipe those Zerglings, so he does, and go ahead and do that. Looks like we have some clone Scourges. Dragoons coming out at just the right number. Dragoons are attacking the pylon. What the heck? Looks like that Corsair is going to get sniped. The Corsair gets sniped by the clone Scourge, but Dragoons are not attacking because they don't have range. So it looks like those Corsairs need to back down. So both the players are trading blows very, very nicely. We have a 4th base now coming up from Soulkey at a 10 o'clock position. I think the Dark Templar was sniped or something was sniped. I'm not so sure. If that was the Dark Templar, it would have been a lot of problem and very unfortunate. But we will have a sufficient number of Corsairs, and we've seen one player, BTS, who used Mutualists to great extent against Protoss players. So that is something that everyone needs to learn these days. But anyhow, we are going to be watching what right now. Looks like these speeches going to try to come in. It looks like they don't have clone Scourge presence. There are Scourges, so now Soulkey is going to have the advantage to press forward. The Dragoons are holding the area nicely. And looks like there's going to be some nice attacks coming up, but will Snow expand? He's going to try to snipe those, those Scourges as well as those Mutants, but not successful so far. And he's going to back up. He's got 3 Corsairs. I think that is enough. You don't want to have the full Corsair fleet of 5 or 6, especially when your main goal is not to go and hunt down overlords. It's just to deter any kind of mutualist dive in and attacking and sniping some High Templars. So that is a good idea. Some nice attacks coming out, and I really like the fact that Snow doesn't send all of his High Templars out. He knows that it's very dangerous to send too many High Templars, so he's gonna prefer to just stick at home, wait, engage with a couple of Corsairs, and maybe you have 1 High Templar just to cast some storms, and he will back down. So this is the way to play as Protoss. I think in 2025 you don't want to send out your entire army like Shadow does in some of his games. Anyhow, we're going to be having 4 bases coming up for Zerg and 3 bases coming up for Protoss, and looks like Soulkey is also getting ready to capture the top right. He want to go out there, but now he wants to kind of improve his technological positioning a little bit. He wants to go up to the tech tree, get some Queen's Nest, get some Hive, and just upgrade his evolution chambers a little bit, I think, and not just stick with his basic units. Anyways, now it looks like Soulkey is on the move. He's ready to come out. Some Scourges and Corsairs are getting sniped. Needless, and these Zealots need to back down. He's going to try to surround from both sides. These Hydras could be surrounded from both sides. No, they're able to escape nicely, which is great. Another question is, what about the storm? Where are the rest of the High Templars? There are some High Templars coming up, and that is a good attack. But now Michu is going to try to dive in. Now it looks like Snow has kept about 3 High Templars with the rest of his troops here. Let's see how much he can do. Anyways, Pro's getting transferred, so Snow is going to be able to have the advantage of 3 gases, 3 bases coming up, which is nice. He needs to snipe these mutants and really get them destroyed, because they've been really a thorn in the eye for a while here. Now there is going to be some nice attack, and the Corsair is going to get surrounded. Both players are pulling in and pulling back out. Nice attack against his base. It's going to be a nice situation, and so Soulkey will need to make a decision whether to defend or to go for the counter attack. Dragoons attacking. Do we have? Okay, it looks like he's going to. The commentator was just showing to us the state of the upgrades inside of Soulkey's base, but this is a nice lurker line to push all of Snow's forces back. There's gotta be a storm. This High Templar is gonna have 3 storm. It casts 1 storm, it can cast 1 more. Where are the observers? It casts it will get 1 lurker. No, very good pullback. That was amazing. That High Templar did 2 storm but did not gain anything at all. That is a mark of a champion. That was that level of attention to detail is just so incredulous almost. But anyway, we're looking at the 40-minute mark of the game now, and so Snow has got 163 and Soulkey's got 175. So if you're watching here, if you're watching this game, that is a beautiful Scourge shot. I think it took out 2 Corsairs instantly. That was terrible army management from Snow. But anyways, the next big ground attack's going to commence. That is a lot of lurkers, but they're kind of too close together, I think. So let's see how these players are going to be able to form. So it's going to say, if you're wondering what is up after this game, there's going to be another nice explosive game between 2 amazing players. If you have bought me coffee, you can go ahead and watch that game right away in a private playlist. But if you have not done that, you can just wait a couple of days, or you can buy me coffee. The link to buy me coffee is in the video description, and maybe that is going to be a way for me to gain my voice back after all of this incessant casting ASL, KCM, and whatnot. Anyway, some storms, and Soulkey has got a huge amount of supply surplus. If you look at the situation, 175 supply for Soulkey, and Snow is only 152. It's going to be the moment for Soulkey to come in and finish up the game, possibly. But I don't know how much he realized that his advantage in numericals is there. Maybe he's just trying to play it safe. And Soulkey is one of those players we've seen he likes to go for low bases but a lot of army. And he's not afraid to do so. Usually, the Zerg player would prioritize, a lot of economic productions over units. He would just destroy some of his own units and then just make more. But Soulkey is one of those players who like to go low econ as well. We're gonna be having some nice attack, and Storm is great here. We need to storm the Zerglings on the right side. Good dodge back from the Zerglings, and also good for Snow to not really engage with his high Templars, and now he's going to be morphing some Archons. It's going to be the moment now or never for Soulkey to come in and finish up the game. I think nice storms. It looks like Soulkey is not retreating from the right flank. He's going to attack from the left flank, and the Snow knows he's going to lose one high Templar. He loses two high Templar, but he's able to cast two storms, and he backs up. But now the numerical advantage is in whose favor. It looks like Soulkey is still ahead a lot in supply. But Snow has got a fourth base. Keep that in mind. Snow has started to make some more cannons at 6 o'clock position. That's going to be some temporary weakness now for Soulkey. But Soulkey's got his own base at the top right. So let's see who's going to be put to triumph here. Good storm. You need to pull the Zelle out back when you do the storm, and Snow has not been able to do so. It requires a lot of APM to do a storm and then pull back right away. And this is why we see that Snow with one of the lowest APM in the history in the community of Starcraft, at least in the Protoss world. He's the lowest, I think. I mean, the lower player could maybe, I don't know, be shuttle sometimes on a bad base. But he's able to control effectively with that. But now looks like this Protoss army is going to get cornered. A lot of Mutas are still alive. These Dragoons are doing good, just reconnaissance work and driving the enemy into deeper and deeper into Protoss territory and reinforcing from the other side of the map. These Dragoons are finally going to be able to come back here. Zerg are really trying hard to kill this remnant Protoss force, but it's not efficient, I don't think. But if he can get all of them, that's going to be great. Looks like coming around, and Slowdown, I think now they're going to get surrounded, and that high Templar could cast one more storm. It's not casting a storm, and that was unfortunate. And Soulkey was so smart to snipe it, but now more storms are getting ready. He's gonna storm now. Zealots need to pull back, and looks like Soulkey is now not pulling back. He's losing some forces, but Snow has saved the bulk of his forces. But now we have 5 bases versus 4 bases, and the game is officially in the late game scenario. We need to have some more, high level units from both of these players. Hunters got the energy upgrade, so they have 250 energy in each of them. And there's +2 upgrades on armor for Protoss. I think he I don't think he even upgraded weapons. I don't know. I'm not so sure. But anyways, what are these things? I think those are Zealots moving towards the top right. You can see that. Trying to go in and snipe that base. But now Snow is going to try to attack it. And Zealot head-on is not the right idea, man. You need to send one Zealot to reconnaissance, and then you need to come in with high Templar to storm. You don't need to have Zealot, in his attacking formation against a well-entrenched Zerg lurker line like this. He knows that, but he's going to back out. He will get one lurker and he's going to back up. Very, very smart from him. But Snow is falling hard in supply compared to Soulkey. Soulkey is going to have another base soon. 6 bases. And Snow is not yet invested into Shadow with speed and Reavers. He's behind. So he's not going to try to do that. He's going to try to engage out here, and walking Zealot blindly is not a good idea. I think the end is near for Snow. I think Soulkey could just come in and finish up the game very, very soon, unless Snow has got some other ideas like Shadow with high Templar droppings. I don't know. Yeah, the army composition for Snow is not so good anyways. It looks like Snow has got +2 weapons, +2 armor, not +2 weapons, not +2 armors and 0 weapons. I made a mistake, but now we're going to have some nice attack, and high Templar is going to be able to cast good storm. We need to cast him right now. He's slow to engage, but now he will engage, and he would trade well. But how much damage can it be done? Looks like a lot of reinforcement coming from the back, and these Archons will be providing a nice score. It's going to be able to cast, and we have the Defiler mount now. You need to storm, when you have an Archon like this, you need to use it to your full advantage and storm the units incoming, but he's not doing that. And now Soulkey is officially up 6 bases with a lot of Nidus canals, or canaux as they say in French. Let's see how Snow can react here, because he's 167 supply, but he is. Look at Snow's money. He's got so much money. This Dragoon will be a nice bait to drive the Zerglings into it. Some nice storm possibly against the Lurker. Need to storm that Lurker line one more, because otherwise that Lurker would not live. And Mitch is coming in to snipe some high Templars, reinforcement from the right side, and he will morph into Archon. He's waiting. He's not morphing just yet, and now he will morph. But I think Snow is not trading as efficiently as Soulkey is gonna have to back up his Archon is yeah, very stupid. You can see how meager Snow's forces compared to the current 3-peater champion. So Soulkey, he's just so much better. Anyways, the Archon will fall, and Snow army is gonna get completely surrounded in the middle map. He's trying very hard to maneuver. I don't know why Soulkey just doesn't come out with Sauron style Zerg and finish the game. He got 1,800 minerals in the bank. Maybe he just doesn't want to reveal his trade. Maybe he once says, you know what, my goal is the ASL championship. I don't really care about these small DPL leagues. So it's gonna be better for me to just play it long and just make my enemy think that I'm actually not that good or something like that. I don't know, of course. No, these players are very serious about their games. I don't think they would do that, especially in the sponsored games. Nice attack, but this is a wasting moment. Looks like Zerg is coming from the back here, and so might be losing, or so might be losing all of his forces right here. The Archon's doing some good shot, but he's gonna have to back down now. And supply-wise, looks like Snow's behind by about 40 supply. I don't even know where his armies are, because clearly he doesn't have them. I mean, his supplies might be in probes, basically. And he's trading not so bad, but his forces are very small, and he's now behind by about 70 supply, who morph into some Archons here. Archons are great, but you need the support of Dragoons and Zealot. And so these two Archons will fall. He was just trying to fight as hard as possible. He loses the last Archon, who will back down now. GG by Snow. Nicely played by Soulkey. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye-bye.